Today we're diving into 10 underrated isekai anime you probably skipped, slept on, or ignored. And I'm here to explain why these weird, chaotic, and surprisingly fun shows deserve a spot on your watch list right now. Kicking off with number 10, The Seven Heavenly Virtues. The Seven Heavenly Virtues is loud, messy, and absolutely shameless about it. People ran from it because of the over-the-top fan service, but if you look closer, it's a brilliant parody of fantasy and isekai tropes. The angels are awkward, flawed, and totally unqualified for their divine duties, which is exactly where the comedy lives. Villains aren't threatening, they're just background noise, letting the show lean into ridiculous situations without worrying about coherence. Timing is everything here. Awkward fights, overblown reactions, and ridiculous moral dilemmas combine into chaotic fun. It's not trying to be profound, it's junk food for anime fans who want absurdity. Think of late-night energy drinks in animated form, messy, indulgent, and strangely satisfying. People dismiss it for being fanservice-y, but that's missing the point. Its charm comes from being fully aware of its ridiculousness and leaning into it with zero shame. For a show that doesn't pretend to be serious, it's surprisingly fun and wholly entertaining. Sliding to number 9, Isekai Izakaya. Japanese food from another world. This anime decided to throw combat out the window and replace it with food so dramatic you'll swear it's a battle. Isekai Izakaya connects a Japanese pub to a fantasy world, and suddenly knights, merchants, and adventurers are losing their minds over modern cuisine. The reactions are intense, emotional, and often hilarious, because in a world used to magic and monsters, a bowl of miso soup is revolutionary. The pacing is slow, but that's the point. This is cozy isekai done right. Characters bond over food rather than sword fights, creating a warm, inviting world where meals drive the plot. Compared to typical high-action, power-up isekai, it's a relaxing palate cleanser with actual world building. Underrated because people expect flashy battles and instead get soft, comforting vibes. Watching this late at night is a special experience, especially with snacks handy. It's funny, peaceful, and oddly satisfying, proving that isekai doesn't always need magic swords to be entertaining. Hunger never looked so epic. Landing on number 8, Yatsiro Biori. Yatsiro Biori is criminally overlooked in the isekai world because it doesn't scream for attention. It blends slice-of-life calmness with subtle fantasy elements, creating a quiet, reflective anime that feels like a gentle therapy session. The story revolves around a peaceful cafe where characters and customers bring personal struggles heavier than any villain in typical isekai. There are no explosions or tournaments. Growth happens through conversation, reflection, and emotional connection. Fantasy elements enhance the atmosphere rather than dominate it, making every small supernatural occurrence meaningful. It's not flashy, but that's its strength. The show encourages patience and observation, rewarding viewers who notice subtle cues and emotional beats. Underrated because casual viewers skip it, expecting action and adventure. But if you want a series that sneaks up on you emotionally, Yatsiro Biori delivers. Its charm lies in its understated storytelling, careful character exploration, and the sense of calm that lingers after every episode. A hidden gem for fans who appreciate slow, thoughtful narratives. Looking at number 7, Jashin-chan Dropkick. Jashin-chan Dropkick is pure chaos energy incarnate, unapologetically dumb, unhinged, and ridiculous in all the right ways. The protagonist is a demon girl who spends almost every episode being mercilessly punished in creatively brutal ways, and somehow the comedy lands perfectly. The slapstick timing is flawless, and the self-awareness elevates it from random destruction to structured chaos. Characters constantly roast each other, the world, and even the genre itself. There's barely any traditional plot, which works because the show thrives on absurd repetition and escalating ridiculousness. Compared to structured isekai, it's anarchic and unpredictable, a constant what will happen next experience. Underrated because audiences expect development and instead get absurd, unapologetic chaos loops. Yet if you enjoy dark humour, over-the-top violence, and a show that refuses to apologise for being stupid, Jashin-chan Dropkick delivers relentlessly. Every episode is a spectacle of comedic destruction, proving that sometimes entertainment comes from pure, unhinged energy rather than narrative coherence or emotional depth. Moving on to number 6, The Girl in Twilight. The girl in Twilight quietly experiments with storytelling in ways most isekai ignore, blending alternate worlds with emotional depth. Characters are confusing, scared, sometimes selfish, and utterly human, making their journey more compelling than your typical power fantasy. Alternate worlds aren't just maps, they symbolize emotional states and internal conflicts, which gives the story layers beyond surface-level adventure. Visually, it can feel rough at times, but the narrative carries weight, and the emotional stakes are surprisingly strong. This isn't a show for instant gratification, it's patient, introspective, and subtle. Underrated because casual audiences expect flashy battles or straightforward adventures and miss the nuanced storytelling here. The anime asks viewers to sit with discomfort, uncertainty, and moral ambiguity. It challenges the audience while providing genuinely engaging character work and world building. The girl in Twilight doesn't try to impress with spectacle. It impresses by being thoughtful, clever, and emotional in a genre where most series are loud, predictable, and shallow. For fans who want something different, this is a rare treat. Halfway at number 5, Manaria Friends. Manaria Friends is a short, quiet anime that packs emotional charm into a fantasy academy setting without relying on loud action or tournaments. Instead, it focuses on friendships, subtle character growth, and emotional tension between characters, all beautifully complemented by soft, detailed animation. The pacing is gentle, giving moments room to breathe, while conversations and silences carry the weight of the narrative. This show doesn't seek to impress with spectacle, it impresses through character interaction and emotional resonance. Compared to louder fantasy isekai, Manaria Friends feels like a serene walk rather than a sprint through a battlefield. Underrated because audiences accustomed to high-octane conflict may dismiss it as boring, but those who stick with it find moments that linger emotionally. Its strength is in its understated storytelling, soft aesthetic, and ability to create meaningful bonds without forcing drama or battles. For viewers craving warmth, reflection, and a fantasy story that's gentle yet poignant, Manaria Friends delivers quietly but memorably. Charging into number 4, 100 Sleeping Princes and the Kingdom of Dreams. 100 Sleeping Princes and the Kingdom of Dreams lives in dreamlike atmosphere, emotional symbolism, and subtle romance. Based on a game, but it avoids feeling lazy, it balances dream and reality in unpredictable ways. Each prince embodies emotional themes like loss, fear, and identity, giving every interaction depth. Some episodes feel rushed, but the tone maintains consistency, blending romance, mystery, and introspection. Its fantasy setting feels fragile, almost ephemeral, enhancing the narrative's delicate mood. The show succeeds by giving weight to subtle interactions, thoughtful character dynamics, and carefully structured emotional beats. Underrated because casual audiences dismiss it as just another adaptation, failing to see the genuine character work. It's a series that requires attention, patience, and appreciation for understated storytelling. There are no flashy battles, yet its emotional resonance stays long after the episode ends. For fans who want a mix of subtle fantasy, romantic tension, and dreamlike narrative experimentation, this anime quietly delivers a deeply satisfying and often overlooked experience. Crashing into number 3, Nil Admirari Noenbin. Nil Admirari Noenbin is the kind of anime that messes with your head in the best way possible. Heavy, psychological, and drenched in atmospheric tension, it revolves around books that drive people insane, turning ordinary objects into instruments of chaos. The story unfolds slowly, letting dread creep in, while characters navigate emotional and supernatural challenges. Protagonists aren't heroic archetypes, they're flawed, confused, and constantly forced to deal with consequences of their choices. Fantasy elements are intellectual rather than flashy, blending mystery, emotional exploration, and subtle horror into a gripping narrative. Underrated because it demands attention and patience, which many viewers aren't willing to give. Yet the payoff is immense. Every revelation lands, and the lingering tension keeps you thinking long after an episode ends. The animation style complements the dark, mysterious vibe, reinforcing psychological themes. For those craving a cerebral isekai, Nil Admirari Noenbin provides a perfect mix of suspense, clever world building, and psychological intrigue, making it a hidden gem for fans who enjoy thought-provoking anime with depth beyond typical action or comedy. Storming into number 2, Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Combatants Will Be Dispatched feels like Konosuba's wild, unfiltered cousin who says all the things no polite protagonist would. The main character is terrible, lazy, and morally questionable, but the comedy thrives on his flaws. The fantasy world is chaotic, ridiculous, and constantly suffering under the protagonist's antics, which makes every scene unpredictable. Characters are exaggerated, stakes feel both high and absurd, and jokes land because the show commits fully to silliness without apology. Fans expecting a clean, structured narrative are in for a surprise, as this anime embraces chaotic humor, irreverence, and shameless parody. It's underrated because audiences anticipated a Konosuba 2.0, but got something louder, messier, and even more ridiculous. The blend of fantasy, absurdity, and biting humor makes it a unique entry in the isekai genre. If you enjoy characters who are both flawed and entertaining, unexpected situations and relentless comedy that never softens for your comfort, Combatants Will Be Dispatched delivers consistently, showing how unrestrained humor and clever parody can make an isekai truly memorable. Finally, at number 1, The Dungeon of Black Company. The Dungeon of Black Company flips the isekai power fantasy on its head, delivering capitalism satire with no sugarcoating. The protagonist doesn't grow strong. He gets exploited, crushed by corporate greed, and dragged through hellish dungeon labor, all while retaining his sarcastic wit. The comedy is cynical, sharp, and painfully relatable for anyone who's hated a job, boss, or bureaucracy. Unlike traditional isekai, it satirizes workplace abuse, power imbalance, and greed, making the dungeon feel as menacing as any monster. The pacing is tight, mixing dark humor with creative storytelling, keeping viewers engaged while delivering scathing social commentary. Underrated because audiences often expect escapist wish fulfillment, but this anime gives something much more honest, an over-the-top reflection of real-life struggle filtered through fantasy absurdity. The art and character design reinforce the humor and grit, enhancing the dark comedy. For fans who want smart satire, unrelenting laughs, and a protagonist who survives by wit rather than power, The Dungeon of Black Company is a must-watch hidden gem in the isekai world. So that's my list of underrated isekai gems hiding in plain sight. If any surprised you, argue with me in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe for more anime chaos, and tell me which isekai everyone else ignored. I'll see you next video because this genre still has secrets worth fighting over together.